Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for the energy of fire for March of 2025. Fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If you're interested as to why I read for the elements instead of the zodiac, there's a link in the description to a video that talks about that. If you're interested in any of the books or the cards I'm using, they're also linked in the description. With that, we'll get started with the I-ching hexagram for the month of March for fire. And I cast the hexagram before the video, and fire has number 37, the family hexagram. So the family, women's persistence brings rewards. And we have some information here. So women's appropriate place is within, men's without. When men and women keep their proper places, they act in according to heaven's great norm. So when the father, mother, son, elder, and younger brothers all act in a manner suited to their positions, husbands play their proper roles, wives are truly wifely. The way the family runs is straight. It is by the proper regulation of the family that the world is stabilized. That's, again, written many, many years ago. But I think it's implying basically that wherever your energy stands, whether it's masculine or feminine within the household, that's where your strength is. And it's best to know how basically you're going to work together in that situation in relationships. Because it doesn't matter if you're two men, two women, man and woman, there is always the dynamic of the masculine and the feminine within that. And so it's how do you fit into that role? When we understand our roles in our homes, especially when you look at a lot of the Asian families, they understand or have been set into positions where you know your role in a household, in a job, in society, and you stick to that. And that's what we're talking about culturally. So, but it's basically saying even within most relationships and households, there is a dynamic at play. As long as you understand your part and don't try to step outside of that, things tend to go better, just in general. So, we have our foundational line is the family dwelling stands with an enclosure, regret vanishes. So when we look at this in that perspective of what I just discussed, the family dwelling stands within an enclosure, regret vanishes. Within your family dynamic, and my guides are being very specific here. Within the family dynamic, within the home, what you guys do within that household is no one else's business. As long as you're within your enclosure, within your walls, what people do outside are their opinions. Don't worry about them, because the regret vanishes, meaning out there you can be whoever. But when you're home, you don't have to worry about that because you know where you stand within your relationship. So, our second place line, this is a time when nothing can be brought to completion. However, within the household, righteous persistence brings good fortune. This is talking about outside stuff. So your grand schemes, the big ones that you're wanting, the dream boards and all that you're really gunning for this month, fire. Don't worry about the stuff outside the house. Those will get dealt with in proper time. This is really saying this is about your hearth, your home, taking care of the things within that bubble that need to be taken care of. So really focus on the inner journey this month. Your third place line is when members of the family speak sharply to one another, their mutual regret and the serious situation which follows lead to good fortune. But if the women and children take to tittering, misfortune is assured. So, I'm not really sure why they focus specifically on the women here, but on that one, don't gossip. You can be a little bit grumpy with each other, solve the problem, figure out what's going on, work through it, but don't involve your drinking buddies. Don't involve the women that you work with. Just keep that out of their ears because they're just going to cause drama, and if you've been in that situation before, you already know how that does not work out so well. Keep home situations at home. Don't bring the outside world into them. As long as you're keeping them, contained not like negatively, but like dealing with your stuff at home and not spreading around for gossip, things will work out better. Your fourth place line, a well-to-do household, great good fortune. By doing and laying the foundation, because we're moving it from the low triad into the higher with this fourth line, so it's saying a well-to-do household. By setting the foundation of knowing how you fit into the household within the relationship within that situation, then knowing when some things outside just need to be put on the back burner because stuff at home is more important, and then understanding that keep home stuff home, don't spread it around for gossip. That sets up a really good foundation, and that's where a well-to-do household, you set a foundation that it can grow from, and that's what the fourth line is reminding us about. Our fifth place line, the king draws near to his family, which is the nation, no cause for worry, good fortune. They're saying that this is not just about a relationship between like a politician, the political leader of your country, and you. It's really saying the head of your household. The head of the household draws closer to the family, which is the people who live within there. This is not a cause for worry, this is good fortune. When people want to spend time at home with their family, that's a good thing. That's not something to be shamed or looked down upon, and that's what this is talking about. Is I haven't even got to the last line yet, but they're emphasizing this. Your family, the people that you come home to, that is the reason that you go to work. That's why you put in the hours, is for them. Knowing that, take the time and spend it with the people who are the most important to you, your friends, your family, your spouse, especially the ones that are within the household. They really want to emphasize that. And, it doesn't mean you have to stay at home all the time. You can go do things, but do so as a family unit so that it helps bonds the family to a closer level. Let's take a peek at our capstone here. His sincerity and or confidence is such as to make him appear awe-inspiring, good fortune in the end. This is saying that the head of the household, the masculine energy, if you will, needs to take time to self-evaluate. Are you doing the things that you agreed on? That also goes for the secondary, the feminine head of that aspect. Are you doing the things that you agreed on? Are you each fulfilling your roles within the household? And that doesn't mean, oh, well, so-and-so's staying home, take care of the kids. Your role in the household, are you doing the supporting role? Are you taking care of the children? Are you making sure dinner's on the table? Are you helping out where you can? As the more masculine projective role, are you out there earning the wage so that the more feminine can stay home? Again, I'm talking in energy fields here, so apply it as it will. And when you start to look at it from finding balance within the relationship, that's what they're really calling for. This is a time for fire to look inside. It's not so much the outside world. We're going into the Pisces energy, so we're dealing with a lot of water, a lot of emotions in this upcoming month of March, which is also triggering onto Aries in fire. So you've got this dynamic of getting the emotional stability grounded and anchored, because there's going to be some movement occurring when we hit Aries. There's always this movement with Aries. Not a lot gets done, but a lot gets started, and that's what the I-ching is talking about when we look at it from that perspective. Is this is a time for appreciating the things that are important, the family, the home, your spouse, your kids. Bring that in and remind yourself, remind them, not with words, that's not going to work, but remind them how much you care for them and why you do what you do. So with that, we'll hop over to the tarot. I read week by week. There are approximately 4 weeks in March. It's like 4.5. So we'll go ahead and do 5. And then each week we look at a guide or guardian, which is a supporting energy or someone to guard you from the slings and arrows of the world. We have a message from Source, which is divine inspiration, something to support you as you go through that week, little messages of care and compassion. And then we also look at the tarot for any lessons, challenges, or other information that we need just to work through that week. I read weeks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. If they happen to rearrange for you, go with what works. These are intuitive readings and they're kind of timeless when we look at it from that perspective. So take the part that works, and see where you fit into all of this. And let me know in the comments down below if you feel comfortable doing that. So your first week's guide or guardian, you're starting off with a bang here. We have Archangel Metatron and Clear Quartz, and it is the card of power. Sorry, I have to be able to see the back. It says, I embrace the opportunity to explore a healthy relationship to my personal power. This supports my spiritual journey to fulfill my destiny for the benefit of all beings. I choose to express my power in a way that is respectful, merciful, and kind toward myself and all others. I utilize my growing power to awaken my boldness and confidence. I recognize the inevitability of my divine fulfillment. So this first week, Fire, you have got a lot of power coming in. When we work with Archangel Metatron and we work with Clear Quartz amplifies whatever else it's with. It's a powerful, powerful crystal on its own, but if you mix it with other things, it amplifies it. So that's where you're being called, Fire, with the I-ching, as you're standing out from the crowd right now. You are in a position of power, and that also means your power radiates and uplifts. It enhances everything that you're around. With Metatron, it's also saying this is a spiritual thing, not just physical, and that's a good way to start off the month of March, is to get yourself really set up to connect with God's Source Divine, work with the Lord and Lady in a way that helps you expand and grow, because as you, the Fire, they're saying that you are going to be the more head of household, that more masculine energy this month. So you're the one that's going to be guiding and leading. And that sounds like it's a big job, which it is, but you have a lot of support on the other side. How are you going to use that power that you carry to amplify those around you, to enhance those around you? And that's what Metatron and Clear Quartz are going to come in this first week. We're here, they're saying we're here to uplift you. How are you uplifting others with the gifts and energy that we're passing along? So your message from Source is the Ether, which is the seamless, unspeakable. I like these decks that I'm using, but I almost can't see them sometimes. So it says the illuminated space of no distraction and pure potential is beyond the threshold. It is the central and present place where all dreams are birthed. From here, you can choose where to go, what may be perceived as endless nothingness in the illuminated eternal. The core that is all fears may be peeled back. Step through the darkness and realize it was only a short distance from the white void at the center of the universe. Herein lies the feeling you may have been striving to meet, yet subconsciously running from. In graceful surrender, know that you are held and drop deeper into its existence. And I like this card because it's got all this massive movement, but it's coming back to a center point. What we're talking about when we look at the ether is earth, air, fire, water, spirit. Those are the 5 elements in Western occultism. But you can't access spirit if you haven't understood the other 4. It takes earth, air, fire, water to trigger spirit. Spirit is also called the ether. When we look at it from that perspective, what it's saying is, as you're going through life, if you're not working towards or seeking out balance, you're actually running from your own destiny. Balance is what allows us to expand. Balance is what allows us as humans in our meat suits here to become something more than what we were. So when you have Metatron as your guide and guardian through this first week, he is the angel of ascension. He is one of the protectors and guardians of the Akashic records and of anyone who is spiritually seeking. So you've got that as your guardian and guide with working with Clear Quartz. So there's this amplification energy coming in. Your message from Source is saying, when you find that balance, God's Source Divine is always with you. You're always going to be able to reach out to him or her, however you look at that. But when you find yourself in that balanced state where that quiet is starting to settle in because you've been practicing and meditating and doing the things, when you start to get that to that point, it actually elevates you so that you can connect in higher. That's when you start to notice that your clairs, however those manifest for you, start to wake up. Whether it's through hearing, through knowing, through seeing, through however your clairs respond to you, when you start to really find that quiet point, they open up on their own. You don't have to work for it. And that's the other message with this card, is striving for spirituality, searching for it, digging, clawing through the earth. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. It's that quiet time when you make the biggest aha moments. It's those quiet conversations with a friend or a partner where you're not really discussing anything important, but all of a sudden you have that click and something connects. This first week is you have a lot of guidance coming in and a lot of power that's being brought forward. Your tarot, which is the Four of Wands, so it's the Four of Fire. I have to edit this one a little bit. This is saying you have divine help. You feel at times, Fire, that you are alone, that you are a victim to life. This Four of Wands is saying you always have support when it's needed, and it may feel like it's almost trying to control you. If you notice, the lady in the back is like holding on to her hands, but the reality is she's the one that's standing up. That's your God source divine, that's spirit, that's your guardians. They're trying to help lift you. You're kind of wanting to be a little stagnant is what I'm hearing this first week, and this is saying it's all right to take a rest, but don't forget what we're doing. We're on this planet for a reason. We are here to expand, to grow, and become bigger and better than what we were. So let's take a peek at our second week's energy for Fire for March of 2025. This crystal mandala deck is a lot of fun, and I got the little bit smaller version, so all the words are on the back of the cards, so that makes it a little more interesting to read them. But we have, for your second week, the goddess Matangi and Heliotrope. And it says, already there is value. I acknowledge how far I have come and the immense inner value derived from my journey thus far. I choose to complete the tasks that resonate with my heart, seeing them through until they are shining with divine brilliance and beauty. I recognize the value of my past efforts and my experiences. I balance passionate, purposeful devotion to my destiny with contentment and gratitude for all that is in this moment. Your first week, Fire, was about growth, understanding your role, finding more balance, and amplifying others. It's a lot of things going on there, but that's not something that you have to do all projective and aggressively and must complete this week. This is the energy coming in. This is where we're headed, is what it's saying. The second week, to really amplify what's happening, this is where we find that still small point. This is where, just like in the I-ching, it talks about ignoring the outside, turning within. It's within yourself, but within your home as well. And when you have these kind of energies coming in, the goddess Matangi and the stone Heliotrope, it's saying it's time to really check in on yourself. Check in on the things that are important by acknowledging with gratitude and grace the things that are important to you. It actually amplifies that as well. So they're here to help you understand the balance, because the mandala on the card here, there's balance involved. Earth, air, fire, water. And that's when you find spirit. And that's what they're saying is you're working. I'm hearing very strongly this month, Fire, there is this big turn to looking inside the family, like the I-ching talks, but we're also working with this energy of balancing your energy with water, balancing air with earth, coming together and stabilizing, because from that point, there's a lot of potential growth available is what I'm hearing. Your message from Source is the internal explorer. We have, when we stop looking outside ourselves and surrender to a soft inner focus, we have access to unlimited information and resources. When we stop thinking with the glass ceiling of our intellect, we have access to multidimensional wisdom from collective consciousnesses everywhere. Everything is there within you, waiting for its expression. You are invited to explore that state of flow. You are an infinitely amazing being who can access collective consciousness, especially when you surrender some control to the greater process or get out of your own way. You have the permission you felt you needed. Go within, explore. Wonderful gifts are waiting for you. Fire, you have an amazing opportunity this month. And they're not just about, oh, the money and the relationships and all that. It's about growth, it's about shifting perspectives. They're saying that gratitude is such a powerful tool for you to use this month, even though the second week is more about that focus of finding that balance. They're saying this week really start to look into gratitude practices, whether it's writing in your journal, whether it's just mentioning it in the morning to your spouse, to your kids, even to your coworkers. You don't have to say like, oh, I'm so grateful for you, although that could be fun just to mess with their heads. But finding ways to embrace the gratitude and saying it inside. But I'm also hearing really distinctly, don't forget to be grateful for your own gifts and skills. Be grateful for everything around, but be grateful for you as well. So, Fire, we're staying in your energy this for your tarot. We have the Knave of Wands, and I'm hearing there's a little bit of a lesson here. You tend to be the one that tries to lead things because fire is a little more aggressive. That's just the nature here. And with that, you have to understand your balance. Fire in this image is surrounded by the water pitchers, leading the charge, basically. You're the leader of your family. You're the leader of the situations, the relationships, even the businesses you're in. Whether you realize it or not, you do tend to take on those roles. And what I'm hearing is this is a good time to show that compassion and show that grace. As a leader, you can be judicial. You can be a little harsh when necessary, but you're also willing to listen to both sides of stories. And that's really going to play out well for you in the second week's energy, is knowing actions to take, when to take them, why to take them. And what I'm hearing also with this is the Knave of Wands. This is saying, Fire, this is within. This is something that you've already had. You've had this gift forever, but you've been kind of holding back on it. And this is a good time to flex that just a little bit. Not go pushing it out there for everything, but just maybe let go a little bit of the control so that you shine in that much more brighter state, which is also the message from Source. So we have your third week. We have the goddess Gaia and Ocean Jasper. Got some grounding energy coming in. And the card's title is Goodwill. I activate the spiritual power that benefits all and protects all beings. Sorry, my computer's being weird. Through mutual enhancement. The power of goodwill, generosity, and grace, I plug into the golden energy grids of grace that rise from the earth and provide all that is needed for every being to manifest their own destiny. I put my faith in the potency of encouragement. I hold an empowered vision of myself and all beings. Fire, when you work with Gaia, it banks the flames. It supports. It allows you to step into that beautiful, passionate creature that you are. And we're working with Ocean Jasper, so you're getting a little bit of that water going on too. But when we really look into the connecting, how we connect to God, Source, Divine, most of us look up. That was how we were taught. We pray to the big man in the sky. But if we look at it from a balanced perspective, we have the god of heaven and the goddess of the earth. And when you look at it from that perspective, we find balance. And that's what they're calling in this third week, is Gaia is here to help ground the energy, to support you, to stabilize those wayward thoughts sometimes. And that comes into simple things as grounding exercises, taking your shoes off, putting them on dirt, going through the process of connecting into Gaia, however that manifests, or just taking the time to meditate on settling down and anchoring. When you start to work from that energy, you bring your focus and all this upper energy, chakra energy, and you ground it back down into the lower chakras. That's your support system. That's what they're calling for this month, is get reconnected with your support team at home, in the physical. I mean, spiritual is really important too, but you're kind of having a physical existence, so work on bringing those things back into balance. It's not just about, well, that person's not supporting me, but are you supporting them too? Balance comes from give and take. It's not just take, and it's not just give. And that's what I'm hearing for this third week, is this is when you start to understand that you have to have both aspects, the masculine and the feminine, however it plays out in your relationship, the giving and the receiving, the projective and the receptive. That dynamic is alchemical. It makes magic happen. And that's what they're wanting to say. Fire, you're in a prime spot to make some really cool things happen this month. Your message from source is the sacral chakra. It's the core of creation. I'm not sure why, but they immediately showed me a baby, so there could be some of that coming on here. The card says, revel in the present moment and feel deeply into your senses, the sensuality of being alive, the breeze on your skin, the scent of damp earth, the feeling of aligning perfectly into the temple you call your own body. This is about diving into the depths of the present moment, where all of your faculties are available for divine creation and connection. Nothing is left in the past or caught in the future. All of who you are unites in a moment of ecstatic conception. Let yourself deep into the passion, intimacy, and connection with whatever you are birthing into this world and with ever whom you are connected to co-create with. The sacral chakra is, in my mind and how I look at it, your first connection to the outside world. It is, some people call it the sex or lust chakra. It's the one right below your belly button. It's usually flames orange when you see it in the Western views. But when we look at it from the perspective of this is where we really start to become aware of the outside world, this is also where the concept of our sensuality comes from, using all of our senses. Sensuality has been turned into strictly a bedroom activity, but in reality, sensuality is the touch of silk on your skin, the taste of really good dark chocolate, the smell of a delicate rose. These things activate parts of our consciousness that is different. That is sensuality. And what this card is saying is you're getting connected into Gaia, into Earth. That's the guide coming up. But that also means being connected into your physical form. Our physical bodies carry all four elements. Earth, air, fire, and water. That's what makes this happen. Different balances and connections. But that's where we're all at. And what this is saying, your message from Source, connect back into yourself as well. It's not just about, oh, I've got to connect to Earth and I've got to connect with my family and do this. Connect in here. Reconnect with yourself. Find ways to appreciate the amazing goofball that you might be. Whether it's, I always have had purple hair, or like me, I insist on refusing to cut my hair. Things like that where you can be a little bit more unique. Just stand out. You don't have to make it blatant and in your face, but be you. But be you in a quiet way where people notice that you have the confidence to be that way. And you're not pushing it, you're just you. And that's really super valuable. So our tarot for this third week is the Three of Chalices. This is saying, don't forget to relax, don't forget to have fun. When we look at this third week, Fire, there's a little bit of seriousness in the first two. They're a little bit heavy with their energy, but it's heavy in a supporting way, saying, you've got big things going on, you're a leader, you've got to show the way. This third week is saying, but don't forget to have fun with it. You don't have to be serious and stalwart. We have to do it this way. No. And I don't care who you are, what tradition or path you're on. If you can't laugh, if you can't find reasons to be happy as you're traveling your life journey, whether it's with a relation, with your partner, with its spiritual community, if you can't find reasons to laugh and have fun in that community, it may not be the best option for you. Because we're not here to be serious stone rock people. We're here to have fun. Fire, you're about passion. You're about lighting that thing up, getting it moving. That's the energy coming forward here. Just because things are feeling a little bit heavy, your focus is really being called to be the example, which is not easy. It's saying, but if you have fun while being that example, it will actually be a better example. It's going to amplify. Going back to our first week with Metatron and Quartz, it's going to amplify the lessons you're teaching. So let's look at our fourth week here, and then we'll hit our fifth bonus week. Our fourth week is the goddess Saraswati, and Ammonite. It's a little fossils going on. We have from word to world. This is a manifestation card. I cultivate the creative power of my throat chakra to prioritize, speak, and live my soul truths. Through aligning with that which I truly resonate, I manifest divine light within the world. I attract and am attracted to that which uplifts, assists, and inspires. Through my intentions, thoughts, and words, I shift my frequencies and create a loving, healed realities for the spiritual benefit of all beings. I consciously choose my attitude and my words to transform all situations into growth appropriate opportunities for my highest good. Well, the last week was about the sacral chakra. This one is about your throat chakra. But we're working with this energy of positive communication. When we really look at how we manifest, it's not just thoughts in our head. That's the start. But then those thoughts have to become words. It's how most of us think, is in words or pictures. And from words, you come into the world. That's where things really start to amplify in the manifestation world. And when we're looking at how this month is playing out, fire, you're being the one who's showing the way. Don't forget to have fun with it. But this week is about, these are options and ways to express these ideas. These are ways to express and show others. You're going to do it through however it manifests, but they're saying you can't forget the communication aspect of it. Whether that is you're building something and you invite your kid or daughter, your son or daughter over to help you with the building process, whether it's or baking, cooking. I learned a lot of things about basic home cooking just by being in the way when I was little. And that's also how I learned how to can. But you learn a lot of these things by just being there, but being willing to also show the next generation. Pass on the gifts that you've been given. Pass on that knowledge. It's going to be amazing for the future. Your message from source is life force energy. We have, got to move the card a little bit here. Revel in the bliss of being alive. This is packed with luminous life force energy for optimal health. It's the card's images. And as much as possible, seek joy and upliftment in everything that you do. Consider the food you eat, the environments in which you spend your time, and what you even wear. Increase your awareness of how things come to be in the world and their energetic resonance. You may be inspired to work with healing energies, working with the land, growing vegetables, or however that works. You are encouraged to joyously make life a piece of Eden. As a result, you will shine with vitality. Bloom where you're planted. Fire. And when we look at it there, the only thing that they're really saying is, as you go through life and you are showing by example the beauty, the expansion, the light that is flowing into you and around you, shine in the most pure way possible. If you are someone who believes in all natural, organic, or regenerative produce and growing, and you're preaching it, live your values, grow that way, shop that way. If you're someone who doesn't like to wear synthetics, then buy cotton, buy linen, buy silk. There's ways to really be the example. So it's not just words you're doing. And that's this fourth week energy is what I'm hearing, is this is a good time to put your money where your mouth is. Show people how you live. You don't shove it on them. That's not how to do it. But if you have a viewpoint, live that viewpoint. So our message from the tarot, we have the One of Pentacles. I'm hearing that there's, I have to edit this one just a sec. There's some energy coming in where there's a new foundation. You've reset, you've amplified, and now you've got a new plateau to launch from. The One of Pentacles is the one of earth. Something new is starting. Fire. This month there's some changes going on, but you're doing it in a way that is guided by the divine. Keep going back to that Archangel Metatron. And when we look at it from that perspective, by the end of the month, there's some new energies coming in. You've got some energy shifting out of the January, February, March, winterish area. You're moving into that more vibrant spring energy. So what are you going to take into spring? What are you setting yourself up for? This fourth week, you're living more of who you are. You're being more truthful to the outside world about you, but you're also resetting the family unit. You're building a new plateau to start from by showing care, compassion, by educating and passing along the information, and working within the role that you have within the household. That's setting you up for success in the future. What is it you are wanting to manifest in the next 3 months? So, our final week, we have the goddess Lakshmi, good healing goddess here, and dendritic agate, this little dude right there in the center. And it is her golden grace, enlightenment, prosperity, goodness, grace flow through and around you. It is through your soul dance and soft golden honey. like energy, abundance, and nourishment are coming to you. Through Lakshmi's gentleness, the goddess offers your soul an irresistible invitation to receive her blessings and emanate the beauty of the divine. There is a gentler way through which you will make greater spiritual progress. You joyfully and peacefully accept this path and allow your heart to grow bigger. So we went from sacral to the throat, now we're in the heart. As you wrap up March, fire, remember Lakshmi is a healing goddess. She works with joy and compassion. Dendritic agate in some circles is called one of the king healers, the master healers. This is about moving forward and expansion. This month is going to be really growth oriented for you. It's going to really show you the things that are important, and by doing that, you start to revel in them. You start to have so much fun with that energy, and that's what's coming forward. And fire, if you happen to be single, sorry this didn't come up sooner, if you happen to be single, things might be changing for you this month. There could be some new friend groups coming in, some new social circles. It could be a new person. You might be meeting your person. Be open to the shifts and changes, but they're saying that it's best recommended you have to, whatever that's coming in here, because they're being a little forceful. You have to acknowledge that there's growth available, but there's some things that need to be done in the process, and that's all that they're bringing forward there. So apparently this is a chakra energy reading as well. Your message from source is the root chakra with grounding and centering. And we have this card speaks of finding a home within yourself, a deep sense of inner peace, and a strong sense of grounding and being centered within the now moment. Here you fly free from the grips of survival into a place of thriving. There is trust, connection, community, and you can rely on others and joyfully understand your responsibilities in turn. You are held and have strong foundations for all aspects of life. With your guard down, you have the tools to ride the waves if you want. Everything is okay and moving for you. Fire, there's not much you can add to something like that. Source is being really clear. This month is finding your balance. It's finding your new plateau, your new anchor point. The message, or the tarot message in the last week, was the One of Pentacles, the One of Earth. You have new things coming in, new things moving forward. And to wrap up your month, we have the Six of Chalices. Seasons change. Nothing is consistent. The fall throws leaves to plant seeds to start the new cycle. You're moving out of a winter period. You're moving into that spring cycle. What seeds have you planted in the past? How are you nurturing them? What are you manifesting in the next 3 months? Fire. This is a really cool reading. I've got chills still. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Hit that like button, all that, subscribe-y stuff. But really, focus on the family. Focus on that hearth and home energy this month. Work with a little bit more of the earth energy. Metatron is here to help guide you as you pass through this month, because it's going to be, because spiritually it looks like it's going to be a little bit of an intense month, but the rewards by the end are going to be magnificent. So with that, I will let you guys go. Have a great month of March, and I will see you in the next video.